coming up on the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night.
He got tossed, and he's going to get thrown out of this game.
Tempers flare in Columbia, Kentucky, South Carolina, no John Calipari. Plus, a ton of high school basketball, including Cordia, Mercer County, and a wild finish in Moorhead.
We were under so much adversity.
See how the Eagles get the win over the best team in the Ohio Valley Conference. It's NBA All-Star Weekend in Toronto, and a former Cat is a winner.
And a 2-0. Towns will finish it.
Are you ready?
Euless out front. The line! He finishes!
We're ready. Let's start the show.
Zeke Biles with the Cordia Lions, power forward. Sports Overtime Saturday night starts now.
Welcome in the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday nights on your television or computer. Thanks for joining us alongside Lauren Cash. I am Jamie McCracken. A packed show tonight, so go, Lauren.
Brace yourself.
Tell me.
Coming up, Johnson Central, Gene Buchanan, Cordia, Mercer County, Knox Central, Somerset, U-Pike men and women, LMU men and women, Alice Lloyd men, and Moorhead State and EKU play a couple of wild games that come down to the last second. I probably should have, y'all probably should have wrote all that down.
All that stuff,
Written
yeah.
all that
Well,
down.
we start with the basketball Cats.
Yeah.
Kentucky and Columbia to take on South Carolina.
Now, in 2014, you may remember, Kentucky head coach John Calipari was tossed at Colonial Life Arena down there in Columbia.
Yeah, but that ejection, it happened in the second half, okay?
Yeah.
And the Cats lost by 5.
Okay.
Less than 2.5 minutes into this game, Calipari, he picks up 2 technicals, and he's ejected from the game just like that. He's not happy. Jamal Murray, Isaiah Briscoe, Marcus Lee trying to hold Cal back.
Hold me back, hold me back.
The shirt's, it's untucked. He gone. He gone.
It's a rough look.
All right, let's get ourselves together. Let's play some basketball. First half, Kentucky up by 5. Murray, the steal, and the deal. Later, the Cats up by 8. Marcus Lee sets the screen. Marcus Lee is rewarded. 29-19, Kentucky up by 10. Still first half, Briscoe. The lob to Scow. Scow Labissiere, Cats up by 12. UK up 15 at the break. Let's go second half. Kentucky up by 18. Euless on the break this time. And what he does here, I'm astounded. Marcus Lee on the jam just throws it off the backboard in the middle of the game. And there's a defender there. It's not like it's, just a lob. And he did that during the game. That's nuts. Coach Euless, right? After Calipari got tossed. Kentucky up by 24 now. Briscoe. The pass back to Euless. He's also got a shot. He had a career-high 27 points, 12 assists for Coach Euless. 7 minutes to go in the game. Justin McKee might want to move. It's too late. 26 points, 5 rebounds by Jamal Murray, and that jam right there. Calipari lost his front row seat 3 minutes into the game. Frank Martin, he got to watch all 40 minutes, and as you can see, it was not pretty in his eyes.
He's never happy, though.
No. Let's go to the scoreboard. Kentucky wins 89-62 over South Carolina. The Wildcats now tied up at the top of the Southeastern Conference for first place with LSU. No Cal after the game, so we get Kenny Payne on the mic now.
I thought that when Coach got kicked out or whatever for the officiating, whatever that was, I thought it set a fire within our guys. I thought they played with, you tried to take one of our guys out. We're coming out and we're going to play with more energy, more effort. We're going to fight more, which is what we should be doing anyway. But again, the story isn't, someone else coaching the team. The story is Coach Cal coached the team through Tyler Euless.
Yes, I had to. Guys couldn't really hear the calls from the sidelines, and the coaching staff, they just gave me the green light to call what I wanted to call. I just try to get guys in sets and just try to lead the winner.
All right, how about Coach Euless today? My goodness. Up next for the Cats, a rematch with the Vols, Lauren.
Yeah, Kentucky went down to Knoxville and blew a 21-point lead on February 2nd. The Volunteers lost at Mizzou today, dropping the Vols back to under 500. UK-UT 7 p.m. tip time on ESPN coming Thursday night at Rupp Arena. EKU looking for a bounce-back win, hosting Tennessee State. Jamil Powell's 3 Well, that puts the Colonels up 53-43. Powell had 25 on the night. But back comes TSU. Marcus Roper. Oh, he dunks a lob. Final 20 seconds here. It gets kind of interesting. EKU down 3. Jarrell Rochelle tips back that miss right there. And then the Colonels steal the ensuing inbounds pass. Rochelle misses, but a jump ball is called. EKU gets one more chance with 1.7 seconds. Rochelle, no. Third time in the OVC, the Colonels lose a game when they had a shot to win it in the final possession, 79-78. That final, that's tough.
Well, that should get you jacked up for the show. We got an ejection and a last second almost win by EKU.
And we're not even close to being done yet.
No. Later on the show, we got the U-Pike men and women. They had their senior day at the East Kentucky Expo Center. That's where you were.
Yes, but up next, we switch gears to high school. Josh Cook has one of the best teams in the state of Kentucky with Mercer County. His Titans take on Cordia.
Welcome back, the June Buchanan Crusaders. They seem to be playing well down the stretch. Winners of, I think, 4 straight as we near the postseason.
Yes, but another team that is hoping to find some momentum in the next week or so is Johnson Central, who just so happened to be visiting JBS this evening. Funny how that worked out. Mason Blair and Johnson Central visiting June Buchanan over in Pippa-Passes. Crusaders the first to strike. Idris Akinyemi with a 2 in the paint. JBS leads it by a deuce. JBS goes inside now. Central goes outside. Blair from the corner. That's a 3 ball. Golden Eagles up 1. Now, what did we just say about June Buchanan? Inside game. Prince Anasicki with the jumper and 1. Crusaders now leading 1. U-Pike top play here. How about big man to big man combo? Akinyemi with the 2-handed stuff plus 1. JBS lead out to 5. Eagles, though, keep hitting from the outside. Josh Hitchcock from the corner. We're tied late in the first, but JBS can also shoot. Hunter Hammond from downtown. Crusaders and Golden Eagles, well, we're still tied. Time winding down here. Cole Crace slips but keeps his dribble, drives in, gets off the shot, gets the bucket before the buzzer. Let's go to the scoreboard. The Johnson Central Golden Eagles win it at June Buchanan 58-47, the final score.
A lot of interesting hair in that game. Homecoming over at Wesley Christian this afternoon. The Riders welcome in the Oak Hill Academy Warriors. Visitors get on the scoreboard first. Oliver Lynch-Daniels pull up from inside the arc gives the Warriors a 3-point lead. Wesley, though, can also hit the outside shot. Janiyu Yahaya.
Killed it.
Yeah. Riders down just by 2 after that. Oak Hill's game plan was to go inside off the inbounds play. Boucher Ramabu.
Close, I think, maybe.
Okay. Tie game in the middle of the first, by the way. Riders, though, would match that physicality. Christian Loing with the, 1 of 5 dunks. Oh, so he had 5 dunks.
Casual.
Okay. He had 18 points, too. Let's go to the scoreboard. Wesley Christian wins its 12th straight game, 65-61 over Oak Hill. The Riders now 29-8 on the season.
The 1991 14th Region Championship team honored at halftime of the Knott County Central Breathitt County game. Patriots hosting the Bobcats. Bobcats working the pick and roll here. Justin Baker to Cameron Stacy for 2, part of a 9-2 run to open the game. Off the Breathitt County miss, Isaac Cottle, he's just going to take it the distance himself. Finishes with 2. Patriots within 3. More transition here. Austin Combs, good to see him back. Gets the steal, dishes off to Cottle. Knott now down just 1 point. Bobcats going after the offensive board. Jordan Barnett out to Ethan Little. Well, he nailed that tray. Breathitt up 6. Now we saw Combs to Cottle. How about the other way around here? Cottle with the board, the outlet pass to Combs for the layup. Nice to see. Let's go to the scoreboard. Patriots go on to beat Breathitt County in Hindman 78-68.
Mercer County head coach Josh Cook went 23-9 in his first season as the Titans head coach. 2 more wins than his best season at Lawrence County. This year, he's already got 26 wins, and it's not even the postseason. Now look at any poll in the state, and the Titans are one of the top 3 teams in the state of Kentucky. Today, Cook and the squad went for win number 27 on the year. Mercer County, Cordia, lots of former Mountain star power in this one. Not only Josh Cook, Lauren, but look, we got Dylan James.
What up, Dylan?
Yeah, the former Sean Clark Cardinal. Anthony Nelson, the All-A-State Tournament MVP, ready to go for Cordia. First quarter, A.J. Chisholm running the break. Kareem McDonald rocking it from downtown. Now, talking with Coach Cook before the game, I asked, who's the guy, if you need a shot, you go to? That's this guy, not James, but Trevin Faulkner, the sophomore, right in front of the Cordia bench. Nice hairdo. So Cordia, well, we know who they go to when they need a shot. They go to the All-A-State Tournament MVP, Nelson, from just inside the three-point arc. UPike top play contender coming up now. Second quarter, Titans, they call the thumbs-up play here. They screen high. That leaves big man Malik Henry guarding the point guard, Will Hager. And he picks his pocket, throws it up to Nelson, and Nelson does the rest. He had a team-high 14, by the way. That was great by Malik. But there's a reason why Mercer's just so good. And they've only lost one game. It's because they're simply good. Malik down there, the corner Jay, James, he knows how to light it up from downtown. Everything he shot today was just a splash ball. I'll just put it that way. And then right before the end of the half, Faulkner versus Nelson gets some. Faulkner wins that battle. And let's go to the scoreboard. Third straight win for Josh Cook's team since his Titans dropped their only game of the season to Lafayette. They'll close it out, the regular season, that is, next week against Southwestern at Southwestern. Jeff Cothran's Somerset Briar Jumpers trying to end a 5-game losing skid. Somerset taking on Knox Central, second quarter. Knox running the break. That's beautiful. Jermel Carton up and in. Panthers up 8. Somerset needs a timeout. Later, Jalen Adams, he can't hold on to it. Josh Cornett says, I'll take it. And I'm going the other way, and I'm scoring. Lead cut to 5. Third quarter we go. Chad Marcy. He rebounds. Carton, outlet. Carton had 13 on the game. Knox Central leads this game by 9 points. Cothran starts, though, 4 sophomores on a Somerset team. One of those, Cross Grundy. He had 19 and 1 bucket, 1 of 4 jumpers in double digits in scoring today. And then Jared Childress goes hard to the cup. 2 of his 4 off the bench. Somerset down 4. Now, where's the Knox Central defense at? Oh, it's right here. Wade Lyford, get out of my house. That's a UPike top play contender. SWAT team out. He gets a good laugh out of that one. Let's go to the fourth quarter. Jumpers go back to what was working. Josh Cornett, good moves inside. 15 for Cornett. Somerset snaps its 5-game losing streak, 75-67 over Knox Central.
I'm very happy. It's Valentine's Day, you know. I had to be happy, but it makes it a lot easier when you win. So very, very happy, very, very proud of our kids because dealing with a young team starting 4 sophomores and, you know, hopefully they're starting to figure out how to make game-winning plays instead of game-losing plays down the stretch. So it's a little bit of a learning process, but it's obviously good to end that 5-game losing streak.
With district and region tournaments knocking on the door in the next few weeks, these last few games for teams become more and more important, and district seeding works itself out, and teams reaching for that all-important momentum heading into postseason play. That's all in this week's Least Famous Recipe, Hazard and Whitesburg, Full Court Press. This time next week, we'll be staring down a jam-packed week of district tournament action. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Friday night featured quite a few district matchups with seeding implications. Other games were makeup games and teams looking to build momentum heading into the postseason. In the 15th region, the girls' 57th district was busy. Sheldon Clark traveled up to Salyersville, and behind the strong play of the Howard twins, Magoffin County notched a big district win over the Lady Cards and improved to 4-2 in district play. Over in Painesville, the Johnson Central Lady Eagles shored up the 1 seed in the district tournament with an 11-point victory over city rival Painesville. Staying in the Big Sandy area, the Knox Central Panthers drove up from Barberville to take on the Painesville Tigers. The Panthers jumped out to a quick lead in the first quarter, and Painesville could never make up the deficit. Knox won big 91-62. In the 14th region, a big-time atmosphere at Memorial Gymnasium in Hazard. Before the start of the Bulldogs in Jackson City, they inducted 5 former athletes into their Hall of Fame. Former Kentucky Wildcat and national champion Johnny Cox was one of 2 former Hazard Bulldogs whose jerseys were hung from the rafters at Memorial Gym. Hazard went on to notch its 16th win on the season and improved to 11-4 in 14th region play. To the 13th region, Middlesboro traveled down Highway 25 to take on the Lady Tigers of Barberville, and the Lady Jackets get the region win over the Lady Tigers. Over in Pineville, a classic between the Mountain Lions and the Green Dragons, Harlan was up 8 in the fourth quarter, but Pineville fought back to send it into overtime. But in extra time, Killian Ledford helped lead the Green Dragons to the road victory, 69-64. And finally, in the 12th region, the Southwestern boys and girls swept Pulaski County. The boys improved to 21-3 on the season, and the girls improved to 23-3. Teams wrap up regular season play this week, and then it's on to tournament time, where the 110 high school basketball teams in our coverage area will start to knock each other off until a champion is crowned. This has been the Lee's Famous Recipe, Hazard and Whitesburg, Full Court Press. Still to come on this edition of the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night, our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week at Lincoln Memorial University.
I told you we had a lot in this show. The 4th-ranked Rail Splitters go for their 7th straight win over Newberry. We'll bring you the highlights from Harrogate, Tennessee. Senior Day over in Pikeville, both the men and women hosting Mid-South Conference opponent St. Catherine.
Yes, 5 seniors on the U-Pike men's roster. Last home game of the season, 3-game road trip to wrap up the regular season. Well, there's Mr. All-Times wins leader in U-Pike history, Colt Chapman himself, one of the 5 seniors honored before their Mid-South Conference matchup with the St. Catherine Patriots.
Gotta love the parents.
Starting the highlight off with a bang here. Senior KK Simmons backboard. Makari, knows how to finish that. Bears up 4 early. Still first half right here, and I mean, really, who at this stage of the season still leaves KK Simmons open in the corner?
I really don't think it matters if you leave him open.
Rack him. He had 12. Game tied at 12. Bears with a 2-point lead, and Trey Rakes from Hambley Boulevard bounces all over the rim, drops. Lead out to 5 for the Bears. To the second half now, Christian Leach getting fancy with that English.
He's done a lot of those shots.
20 points for the senior. Bears holding on to a 3-point lead. Patriots made their run in the second half, but Bears responded. Rakes had back-to-back 3 balls. That was a splash right there. 3 of his 11. And then right back on offense, the Bears, Rakes finds Leach hanging out on the baseline. Another beautiful finish. Let's go to the scoreboard. U-Pike rallies in the second half to get by St. Catherine 87-70. Here's KK Simmons and Colt Chapman on senior day and getting the conference win.
Oh man, it meant so much. It meant a lot, man. All our seniors been together, 2 years, especially this crew. Colt been here 4 years. So, man, it was just special for us, man. We talked about this day ever since last year, man, and what we would do when it came. And at first we started off a little slow, but we got it together. Coach dug off in us, got in us, real good, and we came out and won that game.
It was really bittersweet. Anytime you start your career somewhere and then you end up finishing it someplace, especially for 4 years, it's bittersweet because, this place means a lot to me and it's given me a lot, and, this is it. This is my last game here for the fans and for everybody at U-Pike, and, it's, like I said, it's bittersweet, but, I'm going to enjoy the win tonight and enjoy my last game here.
Alice Lloyd with a final tune-up game before Tuesday's big conference game with IU East. The Eagles hosting Wilberforce this afternoon, early first half. Trevor Combs, he's in the lane, and he's scoring with a floater. Eagles, they lead by 5. The senior Cody Stumbo now stepping up once again. Whoa! Tied for a game-high 16, lead at 7. The Bulldogs hanging in there, though. Latron Nelson rattles home the jumper. I like those green unis, by the way. Those are nice.
They all right.
Yeah, deficit to 6. I like the gold. I like everything about that. How about Mason Blair to Dondre Warren right there? The reverse layup good. ALC lead now up to 12. Second half, Malik Breckenridge from the corner for 3. The Bulldogs pull within 1. Eagles now down 4 when Stumbo, the veteran, drains the 3 ball to pull his team within 1. 2:17 to play. Now 1:10 remaining, tied at 75. Eagles go inside to Jake Allen. Big man shows off his soft touch, putting the Eagles up by 2. So we got 77-77, 3.2 seconds left. Sophomore Austin Crisp, he makes the free throw to put Alice Lloyd up by 1, and Mitchell, he's got 1 chance. And that chance ain't no good.
It's a nice shot, though.
A little off the mark. Their jerseys win the day, though, I'm not going to lie. Alice Lloyd wins by 178-77. Eagles now 15-10 on the season. Next up is IU East on Tuesday with the conference's overall number 1 seed on the line. You'll see that right here on WYMT.com and this TV.
It's a big game. We know what's on the line. We talk about it, and we're prepared for the challenge. We come out today a few players short, but we played hard and got the victory, and we're really looking forward to Tuesday.
Well, right now we got to get healthy. We got a couple more days. We're going to rest and go through some walkthroughs and just get focused on what we got to do to beat East. We got to come up with a good game plan. I think my assistant coach has done a good job. We're almost ready with our game plan, and then the kids go out and execute. And that's kind of what been our momentum and our what we've been. And the best thing about it, they love each other and they're family, and I'm proud of them for that. They stick together.
Man, that looked great. That looked great.
Senior day at U-Pike. Kayla Day, the lone senior on the 19th ranked U-Pike Bears squad, taking on St. Catherine. The Bears, well, they controlled the tip like they controlled the entire game. Day to Devin Conley, starting the game off with a and one. 3-0, just like that. Off the Patriots miss, Kella Eldridge spots Candace Porter. Sinks the soft jumper from the baseline. 12.6 boards for the former Sheldon Clark Lady Cardinal. Second quarter, Bears still on top. Kella Eldridge miss Letcher County Central. Switches the three ball from the wing. U-Pike up 17. The Bears made 6 3-pointers, and here's one literally in your eye hole from Devin Conley. She had 4 of U-Pike's 6 threes in the game for 21 points. Let's go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. The U-Pike women snap a 4-game losing streak. They roll all over St. Catherine, 83-50. Senior Kayla Day finished with 5 points, 8 assists, and 2 rebounds. Here's the senior on what today's game meant to her.
It's crazy. Honestly, I don't even feel like that because all of these girls, it doesn't matter what age we are, what year we are, it's all a sisterhood, and I've had a great 4 years here, and I'm really proud of all these girls, and I can't wait to continue to watch them throughout the rest of the season. But more importantly than senior day, we have had 4 straight losses, so this game was super important just to get back. It was in conference, and so we really needed this to push us through.
All right, be honest now. Did you just sit in that, like, you usually have a recliner there in the 53? It looked like you just chilled out in the recliner.
I was definitely sitting down on a chair resting for a minute because I mean, they had a lot of highlights, but that one I just couldn't pass up because it was just right there, literally in my eye hole.
All right.
Also, though, Coach Hammond, pie in the face.
Oh, yeah.
How
like
awesome
that.
was that?
I like that.
I would love to do that.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
So bad.
Do I read this line or do you?
Probably you.
Okay, coming up next, we got LMU men and women's highlights, plus EKU goes for a bounce-back win after the loss to Moorhead State earlier this week.
And speaking of those Eagles who knocked off EKU, we'll see them in action as Moorhead hosts Belmont, the first-place team in the Ohio Valley Conference. Our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week this week takes us to Lincoln Memorial University.
Yeah, the 4th-ranked Rail Splitters hosting Newberry, Indiana, Newberry in conference play. I don't know why I said Indiana. The Splitters, they get buckets. You know that, right?
They do get buckets.
They've scored over 100 points in their last 2 games.
In Tennessee.
Let's see if they can do it for a 3rd game in a row. A rose presentation. Looks like The Bachelor. Okay, or not.
I'm on Team Lauren B.
They honor cancer survivors, so we should make fun of that. First half, Jarrell Simmons, Emmanuel Terry, oh my, yes. Even Abe Lincoln likes that one. Take another look. The 16th president's having fun, other end of the floor. Ronell Crockett drives, smooth lay-in, just tying it up close. LMU up by 16, though. Terry with a nice precision pass here. Laquan Choice. There's no choice. He just shoots it and makes it. LMU up 22. Choice had 32. And to top off the first half, yeah, we're going to take another look at that. Terry wants a block party. Rail Splitters had a block party. They recorded 14 blocks as a team. LMU 107-97 over Newberry's 7th straight win over the Wolves.
I can't get over the 16th president loving it. A pink out at LMU for the women's game. Cheerleaders, the band, Abe Lincoln, all pink everything. Karen Sims working the baseline, and hey, they left her open. Splitters up 5 late in the 4th quarter, but it's far from over. Meg Essex to Nicola Handrick. They're both Australian. That's 3 of Handrick's 25 points. LMU gets late points here from Shea Coker. That's a retro 3-point play with the foul. They would go to overtime. Essex off the offensive board. That'll go. 8 of Newberry's 14 players are from Australia. 4 of the 5 are starters, and they win 80-71. Caleb really liking the Australian part of that highlight.
I love it. Big time OVC matchup in Moorhead today. Sean Woods Eagles taking on conference front runner Belmont. First half, Bruins on top of their own game. Evan Brads layup good. He had 16 points. More from Belmont. Skip pass to Craig Bradshaw. Killing it from downtown. Belmont up 14 at the half. But here come the Eagles. Senior Brent Arrington. Give me all 3 of them. Deficit under 10. More from Arrington. Uses the pick. Arrington with 24, including point number 1,000 in his career. Late second half, MSU down 2. Anthony Alici, yes, finishes at the rim, 2 of his 11. Then the big bucket right here. Rico Marrero, the putback. Eagles take the lead. He got a chest bump out of that one. Final seconds now. Morehead State up by 1. Bradshaw struggling. I got to get a shot. I got a shot. It ain't no good. That shot's contested. That shot's no good. Like I said, let the celebration begin because that keeps them in contention for an OVC regular season title. Sean Woods, man, he was just elated after the game. Morehead State takes down Belmont 78-77. Coach Woods, I know you love it.
We were under so much adversity, and this is a championship tournament atmosphere. And our guys are starting to come now. You know, they're starting to believe, and they're starting to play with some resiliency of refusing to lose. And I thought that was the key. And plus, our crowd was magnificent tonight. We wouldn't have won the game without our crowd tonight.
Billy Kennedy and the 15th ranked Texas A&M Aggies, they've lost 3 in a row coming into this one against LSU. First half, Alex Caruso skipped to Tony Troca Morelos buckets. Oh, but wait. Still 10 seconds to go in the half. Keith Hornsberry knocks down the 3 ball to the second half now. It said I was supposed to say AO at the end of that, but I didn't. 1-point game, Tigers lead, nice ball movement. Hornsby, another one. I'm not saying it like DJ Khaled. 15 on the day, LSU up 4. Later, Ben Simmons pokes it away. Hornsby up to Tim Quarterman. Layup on the other end. LSU wins 74-66, 6-0 at home in SEC games.
You see what happens when I write a highlight?
Yes, I know, right?
Another one. Speaking of another one, number 10 West Virginia taking on TCU. They're on a big win streak. Mountaineers looking for their 8th straight win. First half, WU up 13. Press Virginia, working right there. Jonathan Holton lays it up and in. Later, J.D. Miller inbounds an outlet pass to Chauncey Collins. Press Virginia didn't work there. He slams it home. Horned Frogs down 12, though. Under 6 minutes to go in the half. TCU inbounding the ball again. It's a turnover.
Oh, wow.
Holton. Oh, he can't hold on to it. Oh, but he got it back. There you go.
That was exhausting.
It's a 9-0 run before halftime for WVU. Second half, you know it's coming. Alley-oop, it's Holton. He had 14 off the bench. It's now a 19-point lead for the blue and gold. You know it's coming. Hashtag goggles.
Goggles.
Devin Williams, 11 points, 13 rebounds. Jayshawn Page, he chipped in 10. Huggy Bear gets the win. The 31-point margin is West Virginia's highest in Big 12 play this season.
And Huggy Bear still does not look happy. Yeah. Coming up later on Sports Overtime Saturday night, it's NBA All-Star Weekend.
You do match Huggy Bear's outfit, though, the black.
Cool.
Yeah, but up next, Sports Overtime Rewind. Our sports director, Josh McKinney, he's in the fishbowl, as we like to call it, and he's on deck with a look back at the 2010 Girls 15th Region Championship game. Welcome back. Sports Overtime Rewind time this week. Did she win the game or not?
The Belfry and Pike Central girls played in an epic 15th Region Championship game 6 years ago, and for that story, we send it over to the locker room with Josh McKinney. Josh, we finally let you back on the show.
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. The Belfry Lady Pirates have one of the more tradition-rich programs in the 15th Region, having won 6 region championships and being the only program that can say it played for a state title, doing so in 1984. But their most recent championship was one that will always be remembered. For this week's Sports Overtime Rewind, we go back to March 6th of 2010 for Belfry versus Pike County Central. The 2010 Girls 15th Region Championship game featured one team who was expected to be there and one team who needed to pull off a few upsets. The Belfry Lady Pirates were 22-7 and had won 11 of their previous 12. Pike County Central was 3-2 in its previous 5, but was making its 6th region final appearance in 7 years. Watching the game, it was hard to tell who was the underdog. The Lady Hawks jumped out to an 8-5 first quarter lead thanks to this jumper from Maya Coleman, her only points of the game, and had even increased that lead in the second. Savannah Fields helping out with 3 of her 9 points, and Pike County Central led by 6 at halftime. The third quarter was much more balanced. Not that a 6-point edge either way was much of an advantage, but it was Hannah Thompson, then Amy McCoy, Holly Harris, who led Pike County Central with 13 points. J.J. Bevins scored a game-high 16. She helped bring the Lady Pirates back, and entering the fourth quarter, the Lady Hawks were clinging to a 5-point lead. The fourth quarter was interesting. Thompson, who had been Central's emotional leader throughout the tournament and was already banged up, was becoming even more fatigued, but still gutting it out down the stretch to help try and lead her team to state. And maybe that fatigue had a factor with less than 10 seconds remaining in the game. Leading by 1, Thompson missed the free throw attempt, setting the stage for one of the more memorable finishes in girls' 15th region history. McCoy grabbed the rebound and immediately found Alexis Howard. Now at this point, Howard had only scored 6 points in the game, but her next 2 would be the biggest of her career. Howard drove coast to coast off the miss. She even got fouled driving through the lane, and as the buzzer sounded, the ball dropped through the net. And even as she was being mobbed, Howard had not realized at all that she had won Belfry a 15th region championship. Or did she? The officials met at the scorer's table and decided 1.2 seconds should be put back on the clock, which sent Howard to the line for her and 1, which she missed. So after all of that, Pike County Central had one more chance to pull its third upset of the tournament. As mentioned before, Harris scored 13 points for the Lady Hawks, but her attempt at 16 fell short. And in fact, Alexis Howard won the Belfry Lady Pirates their 6th 15th region championship. Now, the Belfry Lady Pirates have not played for a region championship since that 2010 season. In fact, last season was their first trip to the semifinals since winning it all 6 years ago. Lauren and Jamie, back to you. I'm glad we put him on the show.
We're so happy that we let Josh on the show.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Every once in a while, he does good things, right?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Okay.
He's awesome.
I like to have fun, too.
Josh just wants to laugh.
You want to read my line?
Read the tease.
Read the tease.
Coming up next, we close out the show with our Play of the Week and NBA All-Star festivities.
Karl Anthony Towns wins himself a prize, and we'll go to Toronto for the NBA All-Star Saturday night.
That was great reading by Josh. Time for our Play of the Week. We double dip because today was the day of the off-the-backboard alley-oop dunk.
Yeah.
First, in the Kentucky game. That's Tyler Eulis to Marcus Lee. Take another look. I mean, the defender's there and everything. Yeah. But then in the U-Pike game, which you had, you want to take this one?
KK.
To
Makari.
Makari.
Makari Brooks.
So which one do you think is better?
Mine, because I'm biased.
Okay, wait a minute. We're going to look at it. That's pretty nice.
They really look pretty similar.
Yeah. It looks like Makari almost broke through glass, so watch that again. Like, it looks like it's going through glass.
Senior to senior on senior day, give me the advantage. Advantage, Lauren Cash.
Eulis, Lee, Simmons, Brooks. That's our Play of the Week. Plays of the Week, I should say.
So welcome back in NBA All-Star Weekend in Toronto.
Home of my 2 favorite artists in Canada, Drake and the Biebs. Because you know when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing, right? My mama don't like you. And she likes everyone.
Just roll this, please.
Also from Canada, that guy, the reigning Rookie of the Year, Andrew Wiggins. Second half, Karl Anthony Towns, the alley-oop to Zach LaVine. The reigning dunk champion. He's not from Canada. USA up 132 to 125. Now later, Jordan Clarkson says, here you go, Towns. All right, yes. LaVine wins MVP, and the red, white, and blue win 157-154. USA, USA, USA.
Hashtag America.
Besides Drake and Biebs.
First event of the NBA All-Star Saturday night is the Taco Bell Skills Challenge. First round, Draymond Green versus Karl Anthony Towns. Green out in front, gets the easy layup. Oh, we missed that. However, on the other end, struggles with the three-point shot. Doesn't make his first 2. Meanwhile, Towns drains it on his second attempt for the win. Let's fast forward to the final round now.
I said that was an upset.
Oh. Towns taking on Isaiah Thomas here from the Boston Celtics. Got to do the dribble weave first. Both make it look easy. Both get the pass into the hole first try. Now it's off to the races. Towns and Thomas neck and neck. Both layups go. on to the three-point shot. Who's going to make it first, Jamie? Who's going to make it first?
Oh, no. All right, we got brick 1. Oh, we got brick 2.
Okay.
Oh, we got...
It's the stress of the moment. Carl nails the 3 for the victory. Carlito is pumped. Carl Anthony Towns is your 2016 Taco Bell Skills Challenge champion.
All right, finally, the dunk contest. First look at this. We got Zach LaVine. Goodness. Take another look at that one. Now, of course, he won this thing last year.
He won it again.
Yeah, he won it again. He beat out Aaron Gordon of the Orlando Magic.
Oh, that was nice. Did you see it?
Yes. I guarantee we'll look at it again. Oh, you do your thing, Zach LaVine. We got another one? Okay.
Somebody likes it running out on the, I think that was Braun running out in the court.
Man.
Solid day of action, wouldn't you say?
Those guys are really good.
I'm tired after all of the reading that we've done today.
Pretty tired.
I feel like I've played basketball a lot. I'm a lefty, I guess.
Says the person who shot highlights from the floor.
I was getting tired.
Okay. That'll do it for the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. Seriously, I say good show.
I think it was solid.
We fast forward, looking ahead to next week. LMU hosts Mars Hill. That's our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week. That is Wednesday night on this TV and WYMT.com.
Yeah, Kentucky at home versus Tennessee the next night, and then the Wildcats go to Texas A&M next Saturday.
I hope you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
I had an all right time hanging out with you, Jamie. Good night.
Let's just go get a pint of your face.